Forgot to bring my tripod today. I'm losing my touch, man. Today, I'm going to be talking about Batman v Superman. You might be confused. You might be thinking that, hey, isn't it a bit late to talk about it? Yeah, personally for me, it is a bit late, but I haven't been able to record because school is keeping me busy. It's still keeping me busy, like even today, and it's Saturday today as I'm recording this. I have some free time now, so let's talk about Batman v Superman because I'm sure you're all very interested in hearing my opinion about it. First, some general first opinions. This movie is a very, very divisive movie. Like, people somehow either love it, people either hate it. Well, that's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually hate this movie. I've seen people who absolutely love it, and I've seen people who dislike it. I haven't seen anyone like... Now you might be wondering, where are you in this spectrum? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you just not like it? And honestly, there were parts of this movie that I actually did like, yeah. But the parts that I didn't like overshadow the parts that I like. I'm gonna go through the entire movie in order, at least for what I can remember. It's been like a week, and I'm gonna tell you the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, and let's start off with the intro sequence, which is Batman's family being murdered. At first I thought, really? Are we actually doing this one more time? Of course, this time they did Batman's death sequence just so we could know that his mother's name is Martha, because the general audience would have no idea about that. So yeah, Bruce's parents being murdered, it was sort of necessary because of the plot in this movie, so I wasn't that upset that they showed it. Visually, it was like the best version of it. Like, it looks so good visually. That's what Zack Snyder does fairly well, actually, you know, with the visuals and stuff. The part that I didn't like was when the bats flew around him and he like soared up. I thought, I just like, that's not how bats work. Of course, a second later we hear Bruce saying that, you know, that's not real, that's a dream, so, you know, they kind of get a pass there. And that's something that we see like through the entirety of this movie. Like, Bruce's mind is sort of messed up. Like, he sees visions, he sees dreams, he sees a horse in the smoke, which I don't think is supposed to be there. So I like that aspect, that Bruce isn't really mentally healthy, because who would be dressing up in a bat suit for like 20 years? And after that scene we go to what I think is probably the best scene in this movie, which is the Man of Steel ending, but from Batman's perspective, and it's so good. We see Superman flying with Saw like in the background, we see buildings collapsing, and they do it like in such a way that you could so frame up like the shots from Man of Steel to the shots in this movie from all the different perspectives, and it all fits together. Like, I thought that sequence was very well done. I realized why Batman is mad at Superman. Because of all these trailers, I've always been like, why are you mad at him? Stop! Ugh. But now I'm just like, wow, Superman, you're like such a dick, okay? And then I'm pretty sure we skipped like 2 years, so this is like 2 years after Superman has been Superman, and we see Lois Lane. She's in a bit of a trouble. She's going to like interview like a criminal warlord terrorist person, and I like that. Yeah, I was like, yeah, girl power, you go do things, and you know, she gets saved by Superman. But but in the beginning I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool, you're doing things, you're not dependent of Superman. Of course later she is. There was a CIA agent, I think that's CIA, CSI, no, not CSI, wait, what? One of those agents, you know, they were pretending to be a photographer. When I was watching the movie I thought like, oh my god, Jimmy Olsen, yes, he wasn't in Man of Steel, I'm glad to see him now. Okay, so that's not Jimmy Olsen. Later though, after watching the movie and looking up the spoiler reviews, what do I find out? That's Jimmy Olsen. They killed Jimmy Olsen without us even knowing his name. That's dumb. Either they realized in the editing that, shit, we don't want Jimmy Olsen dead. Oh, let's not even mention his name. They won't even know who it is. That's what I'm hoping. Otherwise, they just killed him just because. Like, no. Didn't affect me while watching the movie. Definitely affected me after, knowing that they just killed an important Superman character without us even knowing who he is. Then of course Lois Lane gets captured, she's about to be shot, Superman just comes plummeting down, and I'm just like, fuck yes, Superman! And I was picturing all these different ways that he was gonna stop him, because I thought, you know, after Man of Steel when he killed Zod, I was like, I didn't have a problem with him killing Zod because he's been Superman for less than a day. I was just like, okay, this is obviously gonna be his lesson, you know, to find different solutions, and seemingly impossible situations. So I was totally expecting him to just like super fast grab the gun, throw the gun away, and then maybe just like poop on his head or something and like make the warlord like or terrorist like pass out. Instead he kills him. He's straight up dead. There's no way a person could survive like which honestly it shocked me a bit because I was totally expecting him to be like heat vision the pistol or something, or like just grab the bullet in the air and like something. It ended a bit on like a sour note because Superman just flies away with Lois. We later find out that that entire like village surrounding that area was like killed with bullets. Apparently Superman did that. Superman wouldn't just fly away. If like, wouldn't he hear the gunshots? Like, I don't get it. Like, more people died than Lois. So, and he's just focused on saving Lois, which I think that takes away a bit from his character. Like, he's supposed to be in Superman for 2 years, and he still feels like the same Superman from Man of Steel. To me, it didn't seem like he evolved. We see a montage of him just saving people, and he looks so miserable. Like, he does not look happy doing it. He's just like, this is my burden. I'm saving all these people. I feel like the writers and Zack Snyder just don't care about Superman. You can tell that Henry Cavill is just trying to do the best he can with what he's given, but I just don't think that he's given enough. Like, Superman was barely in this movie. I agree that it can be hard to maybe get Superman right because of the cheese factor. I still think you could fit Superman in this darker universe and still have him be happy, because that's what I like about Batman and Superman, the fact that they contrast each other so much but they still are able to be friends. You know, Superman isn't Batman. Like, Superman shouldn't try to be Batman. And I'm not talking about Marvel happy. I don't want Superman to be like Captain America. No, Superman in these movies can be darker, sure, why not? But I want him to just be he's so miserable in this movie, man. He does not look happy being in any scene. Oh yeah, okay, but Batman, he's awesome. This is probably one of the best Batmans I've ever seen. I'm not that big of a fan of Tim Burton's Batman, purely because I didn't grow up in that time. So I don't have that nostalgia factor of the Tim Burton's 89 Batman. So this Batman, pretty cool. It's probably the most comic book accurate Batman we've ever seen besides the killing people thing. I'm always more on like the Punisher route when it comes to the bad guys and stuff. Like, just kill them. They're gonna be out in a week. He fucking crashes into a car, tethers that car, throws that car around, making it like burst up in flames, and then he fucking throws the car into another car and makes it explode. I was just like, what the fuck? I've seen many Batman fans have a very huge problem with the fact that he kills people. It wasn't that big of a deal because it's a movie. Honestly, Batman has killed people in almost every movie that he's in. How is the Joker and Harley Quinn alive in this universe? That's probably like the only thing that I wondered throughout the entirety of this movie. I was just like, how is the Joker alive? Then I think we meet up with Lex Luthor and or Lex Luthor Jr. as no. As of right now, this Lex Luthor is the Lex Luthor of the DC universe, an extended universe, I think they're calling it. Based on both fan and critical reception, they're probably gonna do that, you know, oh, my son has always been weird, I am the true Lex Luthor. But as of right now in this universe, that's Lex Luthor, and that's not good. Lex Luthor was the thing that I despised most. I didn't get it. Like, I was just like, why? That's the only thought I had in my head every time he showed up. Just why? This isn't Jesse Eisenberg's fault. This is what Zack Snyder, this is what the writers wanted. Like, for some reason, I don't know why, like, it's so puzzling to me. I just want to find out why did you make Lex Luthor into like a merge of the Riddler and Joker? Like, it's weird. So that's my opinion on this movie version of Lex Luthor. Wasn't that big of a fan of him. Let's talk about Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, because she's awesome. Every single time she showed up, both me and my sister were just like the hype, just like, because like we're so fucking excited. Like, Wonder Woman is gonna be so good. Like, she was good. She had an accent as well. I was afraid that she was just gonna do an American accent, but no, she had an accent. I was just like, ooh, exotic. Of course, Wonder Woman was there to get a picture of herself from like the World War One, I think, because that's where her movie takes place, in World War One. And when Wonder Woman actually gets to the scene with her suit, a highlight. She's awesome. The music as well. The music got a bit too much for me, actually, because like every single time these characters showed up, they played the exact same tune. It's so it's so ridiculous, but like in a good way. I didn't hate it. Like, whenever Wonder Woman showed up, no matter what, whenever she showed up, it's always that. The same goes with Batman. Whenever Batman shows up, it's always like. It's like, yeah. She has the lasso of truth. So both Batman and Wonder Woman I really liked. Overall, the story could be interesting, but I feel like they definitely missed an opportunity to make it interesting. I thought the story was just like the movie had pacing issues. I'm interested in these characters, so I sat there and listened to everything they had to say. A man sitting at the back of the theater snored. Like, I could hear a person snoring like during the first hour and a half. So I'm sitting there just like, yeah, this maybe isn't that interesting for someone who doesn't love these characters. Like, if you're just like someone from the general audience, you would probably just be like, where's the punching? Where's the action? Like, even my dad was just like, this is quite boring. And he loves Batman and Superman. He read the comics in like the 70s and 80s and stuff. Well, he didn't read like that many comics, but still. A scene that I didn't like was the courtroom scene, because we haven't seen Superman enough in this movie. He's always been like talked about. We never really see him, and then we see him in the courtroom, and I was expecting a speech about him being not so different from him, even though he is from a different world entirely. I was expecting this like a speech to humanize him so much, and then an explosion would happen, and all of that would just be forgotten because all of the people outside would have no idea what he was talking about. But we as an audience would get like the sense of, oh, Superman, oh, but we never got that. Instead, he never says anything. He just stands there just like, boom, explosions, and then he's just there looking sad. When watching the trailer, I was just like, oh yeah, you tell these people. He didn't even get to tell them. God damn it. It feels like everyone in this movie gets to have an opinion about Superman except for Superman himself. He's just there. He's just like, whew, now my mother has been kidnapped. Shit. About the whole Martha thing, people have been complaining that why would Superman not just fly up in the sky and listen to her heartbeat? Martha is even sitting in that chair like kidnapped talking, so he should have been able to hear her talk, not just hear her heartbeat. But let's be honest, that would make for quite the uninteresting movie, wouldn't it? If Superman could just be like, boop, boop, like, does it happen in the comics? It does happen in the comics, yes. Now I'm getting to the actual Batman v Superman fight. I don't like Frank Miller's Batman. I don't like Frank Miller's Superman. So right from the get-go, I wasn't that excited of seeing Batman and Superman fight, purely because Zack Snyder is a huge Batman fan. He's gonna be super biased towards Batman, which he is. To me, the fight would have been so good if Superman is just there trying to talk to Batman, and Batman is just throwing everything he has at him, and then Superman is just standing there in one spot. Batman is realizing that he's not even moving. What the shit is going on? And then Superman would just be like, can I talk? Blah, or something like that. Like, something to just like it's so easy to just say like, look, my mother has been kidnapped, like, but they never do it, and like, it begins good. It begins like Superman would probably do it, just like, I need to talk to you, you need to stop, you need to listen to me. Batman is just like, fuck you. But I feel like Superman just switches super fast, like, pang, pang, oh, well, fuck you. Visually, the fight looked good. Of course it did. Isn't it amazing how lazy naming in like the 30s and 40s just turns out so well? The whole Martha thing, I absolutely get it. I completely get why Batman would act just like, wait, what the fuck did you just say? Like, because, you know, he has like the flashbacks and the visions of his mom. What I don't get is why Superman would say Martha and not mom. Because I don't buy that he would say Martha just because he knows that Bruce Wayne's mother's name is Martha. I don't get, like, that doesn't make sense to me, that he would just like, Martha, ha, because that's your mom's name as well as mine. No, I feel like that's just fans trying to justify it. The whole Lois Lane thing coming in like, that's his mother's name. I think that's when Batman realizes like, oh shit, he's not this, like, god person. He has a parent. Like, just like I did until they died. I feel like the reason as to why Batman and Superman stops fighting is not because their mothers share, you know, the same names. No, it's because Batman realizes that, oh, he's not a god. He has a family. The whole rescue Martha scene was absolutely fantastic. I love that scene so much. It's fucking good. Like, this is the best Batman combat, at least. When he saves Martha and he's like, I'm his friend, I'm just like, nah, maybe you should talk to him like once at least before saying that. As I've already said, I don't like Lex Luthor in this movie. I don't. And I don't like Doomsday either. Superman has only had one movie, and they did the Death of Superman storyline. In this one, I still feel like I don't even know Superman. That's why I couldn't even get emotional when he died. Like, I was just like, okay. Because, like, I want to see him do more heroic stuff. The whole funeral scene at the end was just so weird to me. Like, oh, people just love him now? Like, why? Like, it would make sense if he dies at the end of, like, Justice League Part 2. We could see all the Justice Leaguers being there, Batman and everything. Like, that would be super sad. You would just be like, oh no, Superman. Then it would make sense to have his symbol everywhere. Now it doesn't make any sense. Like, didn't you hate him, like, yesterday? Like, what? Why do you have this, like, American hero funeral? The fact that he's not dead with the dirt flying up, they shouldn't have put that in, because, like, we know he isn't dead. We don't need to see that. Like, come on, let's leave some people questioning about whether he's dead or not. But yeah, my opinion is that they did the death of Superman way too soon. Like, way too soon. Like, they should have waited at least 6 movies into their extended universe before doing the death of Superman, because now they can't do it anymore. It's been done now. This is it. I don't think Doomsday should have been in this movie. Honestly, I feel like they should have come up with, like, a different resolution. Maybe Metallo could have been in this movie. That would have been cool. I mean, like, the whole, like, courtroom scene didn't have to end in, like, an explosion. Maybe, like, the dude with the legs that got cut off, maybe that dude could be like Metallo, because Lex Luthor is just like, I want to do something with kryptonite, blah. Like, that would have been cool. I wanted Superman to be more Superman. Like, he wasn't Superman, like, at all in this movie. He was just like this Mom, Martha. So while there were parts in this movie that I liked, there were just too many stuff that I didn't like. Like, I just, so many weird direction choices, so many weird, like, pacing issues, like, writing-wise. Okay, so I saw the clip of Batman and Superman meeting each other for the first time. I didn't make a reaction video to the clip, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because I did not like the dialogue. The dialogue was so awful in that clip. I was so sure that this was the part where Lex Luthor is, like, controlling Superman or something. In the movie, it turns out, nope. He just flies in out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever, stops Batman, and basically threatens that he will kill him. Out of nowhere. Is that gonna be in the ultimate cut? I hope so, because it completely caught me off guard. Like, the bat is dead, bury it, next time to shine your light. Like, that dialogue was so bad. I'm definitely in the minority, because in the comments for the clip, everybody just loved that. I could not stand it. It's the same part with, do you bleed? You will. So I didn't like their first encounter either. Oh yeah, I was gonna end the video, but then I remember, like, the whole Justice League teasers, you know, like, oh, we need to find Lex Luthor's hard drive of this secret, like, promotional material for the Justice League. It doesn't make any sense that all the files have their fucking symbols. Like, is Lex Luthor the person who comes up with all the superheroes? The Flash, I'm excited. I'm a bit like, because we already have an amazing Flash. All the Justice League teasers felt like an after-credit scene. I feel as though Diana should have looked at those files at the end, but for some reason DC, they don't want to do after-credit scenes, which is fine. But I just feel like, you agree with me, right? That it feels so out of place from the movie. Batman censored the material, and we're left wondering, like, oh, when is she gonna read it? And then we find, you know, after-credit scene, oh, we can get all these Justice League teasers. Instead, we get him, like, in the middle of the movie. We see an awkward Aquaman in the water holding his breath. Cyborg, I liked Flash coming from the future, being like, oh fuck, I'm here too early. Shit, I like that purely because, you know, it's the Flash! Ah! I didn't like the nightmare scene because I don't like the Injustice thing. I don't want them to go the Injustice route. The whole point of the Injustice route is that this Superman is fucking evil, and they bring in the good Superman from the good universe to stop him. Batman doesn't stop Superman from injustice. Superman stops Superman from injustice. I don't want them to make Superman evil before making him a hero. I still don't feel like Superman in this movie is a superhero. Please make him a good, honest superhero, like, that people can root for before making him the villain. Just let that nightmare teaser, let that be Batman being crazy, Batman thinking like, oh, I can't trust him, he's evil, and just let that just be part of Batman's mind. And of course we see Darkseid, and we see, like, that's not Apocalypse, it looks like Earth, like, mixed with Apocalypse or something. We see the Omega symbol, like, it's obviously Darkseid. I don't know what else to say. I'm cautiously optimistic about Justice League. I'm very, very excited for Wonder Woman. I've seen a lot of Batman v Superman movie fans saying like, oh, you just hate DC. Do I look like I hate DC? If I hated DC, I wouldn't like The Flash. I wouldn't tolerate Arrow besides what the fuck ever Felicity's doing. I wouldn't like Supergirl. But I do. I do like these shows. I do like these characters. I do like them, the comic book versions. So no, I don't dislike DC. I'm not I am a Marvel fan, of course, but I'm a fan of both. That can't happen. There were just too many problems for me with this movie. I've only seen the movie once. Would I see the movie again? Of course, I'm gonna see the ultimate cut. Yeah, I'm maybe even gonna talk about it. Who knows? Anyways, though, I'm gonna go now, and hopefully this whole thing made somewhat sense. Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, which is really exciting. 2 videos in 1 week. Isn't that amazing? And I'm gonna be talking about Star Wars Rebels, the season finale. And so, hey, if you're a Star Wars fan, you can watch that. I'm gonna go now, and I love you guys, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you have any questions about what I thought about a certain part of the movie that I haven't mentioned, just feel free to comment. Bye.